All right. So we should be live, Jennifer.
No intro, no warning, no
nothing. We are sweating today trying to get this one up and live. But sorry, we're running a little bit late, everybody. Hopefully everybody can hear us. Check us on the LinkedIn, Jen, to make sure that we are up and running. As you can see, we are not in the normal studio environment, home office / part of the bedroom space that we're normally streaming from. So we're actually on a big job site today. And 300-400 acres, and we've been driving around in a Polaris side by side, looking at doing a whole bunch of stuff out here and with modular construction. And one of our goals was to talk about all the things that we just did to prepare the thoughts of, can we build here?
Right. So
if the stream's a little fuzzy today, we apologize for that. If the stream's a little delayed today, Jen apologizes for that one. So Jen, what do you think, other than it's like 90 degrees in the middle of the woods here?
Well, I think, first of all, I'm grateful that the camera is fuzzy today because we are definitely schwitzing. We are out in the middle of nowhere, like Dave said, 300 acres. We are in a makeshift cabin, which actually is quite lovely. And we're so thankful for the folks who are allowing us to broadcast from here today.
And not in the hot sun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. Let me just show, look everyone, like we got this beautiful kayak on the wall. So we're in a garage, but even behind us, there's the plans for the whole project. And then of course we got the wonderful outdoors there. So I'm trying to do this real slow and not drive everybody completely crazy with it. All right. So Jennifer, this is going to be a quick show today. Let's talk about what we were just doing and what were we looking at in regards to modular construction. What is the first thing we do on any project?
Right. So essentially we got here earlier and immediately left the pavement and entered a gravel and dirt road, really not developed at all. So we're looking for access points. We're looking at the different elevations. We're looking to see where we can get in. We're looking for water.
Yeah.
We're looking for ledge and all the, like I said, all the different elevations and historic trees, anything protected from an environmental or conservation perspective because of where we are. So actually there's quite a bit to look at, even though there's nothing here.
Right. And I know our feed's pretty delayed right now, and that's going to happen. We are actually on a hot spot too, so that might be part of the delay. But yeah, we are looking at all those things, right? We even have culverts and bridges. We have to look at the weight loads. There's a lot of little things that just come natural to somebody who's been doing it for a long time. And we're working with somebody right now to help them kind of do a study on, is this feasible for them to do a development here?
Exactly.
And it's going to be pretty cool. So some of the things I'm looking for, Jennifer, is can we make the turns? You got to remember, these trucks can be 60, 70, 80 feet long in general. If you have a 50-foot piece of home behind it, and then you have another 20 plus feet of tractor trailer in front of it, I mean, you have to make some pretty big sweeping turns unless you have some experience and you know how to use a front loader really well.
Right. So, I mean, that's essentially what we're evaluating. We're taking everybody back to the very beginning in terms of process and planning. And like Dave said, we're doing this feasibility study to see if we can even get in here to see if modular is a feasible answer, if offsite construction is a feasible answer here. And like Dave said, it is, the narrow passages, the tight turns, the rutted out passage,
what's going to have to happen to the roads to get in. This is 300 plus acres, so it's not just a simple drive in. It still needs to be opened up. The roads need to be graded out. So there's quite a few things that really have to happen to make this all possible for the builder. And we're gonna take some video and take some photos, and we're gonna put this all together and share it with you guys in our stream on Tuesday, because last week was the end of zero punch list. People move in. So these next coming weeks are going to be a little bit more about the details. So we're going to show you what we're looking at out here. Now, this is in a very rural area. So it's a little more forgiving than when you're in an urban environment with telephone wires everywhere and telephone poles.
I mean, that is the one thing to our advantage. Right now, there are no overhead power lines. There are no telephone poles. There really is no infrastructure to speak of. So we can kind of carve our way. We can look at the elevations. We can plot out our entrances and exits,
That's right.
if you will, because it's not just the modules and the trucks that need to get in here. It's the crane and what size crane are we using? Do we have enough room for the crane and the modules and clearance to set all the modules?
Right.
So it's not just getting in, it's also what can you do once you are in?
Well, that's exactly it. Setting up crane location, pad location, foundation locations on a project like this, where we're getting into 40, 50, hundreds of homes that are all going to be modular. You know, the process is just like I always say, the attention's in the detail.
Absolutely.
How do we get in? Where do we stage our modules? In other words, where do we put them? And then where do we place the crane to maximize the use of the crane, so you do not have to keep breaking it down and setting it up to move every module.
Right.
You want to maximize as many modules as you can set, and that all takes experience. It takes time to really, on a project this size, to understand. Let's just take a couple minutes, Jen. So coming into here, right, the first thing there was a sharp turn, all right? Well, we can clear some trees for that. That breeze feels good, doesn't it? Wow. So there was a sharp turn, so we can clear some trees. Yeah. But then there was a culvert, right? Yeah. There was a little bridge, and it was just the corrugated metal pipe. Right? What is the weight load on that pipe? It wasn't a little 3-inch one. It had to be about a 4 or 5 foot, you know, corrugated pipe with the road over top. So these are all things that we're looking at, and then we're taking notes, we take pictures, and then we go to the town or wherever we can to do the research. Can we handle that weight load? Not a big deal, but it's just something you really have to pay attention to, because if that collapses, it's a big deal.
Because this isn't 1 or 2 volumetric modules that we're bringing in.
That's right.
These are dozens and dozens of modules that we're bringing in, and like we said, the crane and all the excavation equipment and everything else. So it's not, you have to know what the weight load is for that 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, for an extensive use and then coming out, obviously. So that was number 1. And then it all looked beautiful after that. The road was nice and wide. There weren't any mature trees on either side. And then what happened?
Mature trees.
Yeah.
You know, we have a couple that are leaning in, it leans, you know, and then you got a rock outcropping, and there's some things, I mean, but there's ways around that. There really is. But you have to walk every inch of that road. You have to take your tape measure, and you have to think in volumetric. You can't think, oh, well, hey, it's, you know, 16 or 18 or 20 feet wide, because trees do go like this. And that's what you need to pay attention to. So, you know, you need to know your heights. You know, in our case, it's somewhere between 14 and 15 feet up. We need to have that full volumetric space to be able to bring our units in. And a little tip, just I was thinking about it, with those culverts, if you have them, because we have them in suburban areas as well, big piece of steel, just like they put on the roads when they open up the road, you could just lay it across the top of it. And typically that'll spread the weight load enough to get across so it doesn't bend and crush it. For sure.
Absolutely. So we're looking at that. And then it's not just the height of the modules, it's the width. And it's also the wheelbase, because you have the wheelbase of the vehicles, and then you have the overhang for the modules. You know, so it's you know, how high, how wide, and how can we get in here? And then whether or not we need a bulldozer to help negotiate some of those turns, to help maybe pull some of those trailers through and maybe lift in place. You know, it's a delicate nature, that's for sure.
It is a delicate nature, and we are dealing with nature too out here. So you want to try and preserve as much of it as you possibly can. But I mean, this place is just super, super cool. I mean, to have this much, you know, woods and acres and lakes and streams, it's going to be a really, really great community. Just so everybody knows, yes, it looks like it can be done, and looks like it can be done using offsite modular construction. And this is not, like I said, this is not a tiny project. So what are we going to do then, Jen, is the follow-up here? We are going to, document our journey out here, and we were going to take you live, but we're here with a bunch of other people. So their time's very valuable, as well as your time. So we really wanted to make sure that we document. We're going to take photos. Starting on Tuesday, we're going to run the gamut and get into the details to start showing you how to build modular, how to look at sites, what to think about when you're looking at these sites, right? And I'm gonna put it all together, and Jen's gonna teach it.
Yeah, exactly. So like Dave said, this morning we had the luxury of being on the Polaris, and this afternoon we're going to travel that path on foot and just see if there's any alternate entrances. and really get close, get in close and make sure we're all set. And this is going to be a really fun project. So hopefully we'll be back here for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. So listen, if you're listening, by the way, give us a thumbs up or a hello. Let us know if the stream's working great. Up there's Tom and Tiffany. You speak and you shall receive. I love that. I love it. Yeah, I mean, this is not our typical live streaming stuff that we use. Normally here, I'll show you, while I have everybody. Normally we're backpack streaming and we're using our digital streaming gear and everything that we have, but we're lucky enough. There is a cell tower right over there, which is great. So I'm hoping the quality of this is coming through. Tom, if you're out there, tell us, is the quality good today? Or is it a little bit lagging in time? We didn't do the big intros. We got back a little bit late and we didn't want to mess up the group and say, oh, we got to get back, but because this is a big deal. And this is one of the things that Jennifer and I do, and that's get out and we consult a lot of people. We coach people that are looking to get into offsite construction. So that's what we're out here doing. We're kind of living and breathing what we're talking about day in and day out.
Yeah, and today we're also sweating the details, literally. On
we are
whether
sweating.
Or not we can get in here. So
you want me to do a close up on you so everybody can see?
Oh my gosh, we're glowing.
You can see the sweat on the forehead. I know, and lunch is on its way back, so they were kind enough to go get some lunch, which is great. So listen, hey Tiffany, it's good to see you. Let's see here. Let me get to my StreamYard. If we got people, I always like to give my shout outs and put people up. There's Tom. Yes, offsite manufacturing, great idea. Tom, you are so true. I owe you a follow-up. I will get to that. Things got a little hectic with getting out here. And Tiffany, great topic, right? Tiffany, chair of the NAHB Building Systems Council Subcommittee. Love it. And Tiffany is a builder.
She
Modular.
Is. So, Tiffany, you understand.
And manufactured.
Right. You know what we're going through. And we know that you take such great care and such detail when looking at your business and working with your clients. And that's where this journey begins, because in the end, we really want to make sure that we deliver an exceptional experience for the client.
Yeah.
Because guess what? This is one very big project, but there are others right behind it. So, part of what we're focused on is not just delivering and not just making it happen, but delivering it in a way where the client, successfully navigates through the process and calls you back to do more business, right? Or refers you to others, or clues you in and says, hey, we have this other gig going on. Please, can you help us out with this one as well? Right. It's creating that lifelong relationship, essentially.
Referral business.
100%.
There's a big idea in offsite and construction in general. Oh, well, let's have referrals. Yeah. It's a big deal.
It is.
It's a big deal. And if you plan on staying in business for a long time, referral business comes back to help you years and years and years from now.
It does.
Right? You got first-time home buyers. Mm-hmm. You got baby boom, people's kids moved out, downsizing, second home market. Over the years, we've had some that 3 or 4. I keep cutting you off today. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. And I'm just thinking too, you guys made the call out great, that we're using offsite construction.
Yeah.
The people that we're working with on this have not used offsite construction before, but through getting to learn about the process and understanding the real benefits, they are already signed up. They're super excited. Yeah. And I think are firm believers, and most likely they will use offsite construction in the other projects they're working on as well.
Yeah. They're definitely big believers. We've been talking with them for a long time, and it's a lot of fun. What are some of the questions that they have for us? That's kind of a good way to look at it, like from a client's perspective. So other than, hey, Dave and Jen, can you drive out here and walk the property with us on your lunch break? Sure.
I know, right? So what we're also looking at is, because some of this land had been, there was planned for a different usage, and the developers who had it prior to this, did some work and were investigating, ran some test holes, and there's some evidence of people trying to get in and figure out where everything will go. So that's the other thing that we really need to be careful of, is what's underneath. What can't we see?
Right.
So it's not just what's above, what's around you, but it's really what's under the earth.
Yeah, for sure. And we're about to get run over. I think a whole crew's going to come in. Should we just let them all come in? We have a big party here up in the mountains.
No, well, it's bad enough you put me on the spot.
Well, there you have it. So, all right, everybody, listen, we really do appreciate you tuning in. Tuesday is going to be the start of really digging into the trenches with offsite construction and all the things we have to do. We're going to document what we've done here today. And then we will be back at the scheduled time. It's Tuesday next week is what day? The second, right? Testing. No, I got to look. All right. Well, we're getting close to the 4th, but we're going to be here on Tuesday, 1 o'clock, 6 days a week, no exceptions for this full year, bringing you everything you need to know about offsite construction and modular building. I'm Dave Cooper.
I'm Jennifer Cooper, and we'll see you next time.
We definitely will see. And you know what, Jen? We could actually use our exits, our outros and intros and everything else.
Oh, he's getting fancy now.
I got to give them what they come for, right? All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.